Many people say that brain waves don't work, that binaural beats, neural frequencies, brainwave audios, and mental reprogramming sounds are just an illusion or placebo. But the truth is that, in most cases, the problem is not the brain waves themselves. The problem is how people expect them to work. There is a huge gap between what is promised on the internet and how the human brain actually functions. When someone presses play expecting money, luck, focus, or happiness to magically appear within minutes, disappointment is almost guaranteed. The brain does not work like a switch that instantly changes states just because a sound is playing. The first major reason why brain waves seem not to work is unrealistic expectation. Many people believe they can just press play, do nothing, and wait for miracles. But the brain is shaped by repetition, consistency, and context. If someone has spent years living under stress, anxiety, fear, and negative thinking, it is not realistic to expect one audio listened to once or twice to undo all of that. Brain waves are not spells. They are stimuli. They create favorable conditions, not automatic results. Another important reason is that many people listen to brain waves the wrong way. They use speakers when the audio is designed for headphones, listen in noisy environments, constantly interrupt the session, or play the sound while multitasking on their phone, watching TV, or doing something that requires attention. The brain needs at least a minimum level of focus to enter certain states. If the mind is constantly distracted, the stimulus never has a chance to work. It's not that brain waves don't work. It's that the brain was never allowed to respond. Impatience is another huge factor. We live in a world of instant gratification, where everything is expected to happen fast. Brain waves, when used correctly, work subtly and progressively. Many changes begin internally, at the level of calm, perception, emotional balance, and mental clarity, long before any external result appears. But most people give up too early. They listen for a few days, don't see money coming in or life changing overnight, and immediately conclude that it doesn't work. What they don't question are the years of habits and mental patterns that created their current situation. There is also internal conflict. A person listens to a prosperity or success audio, but minutes later feeds thoughts of scarcity, fear of losing money, self-doubt, or beliefs like, "This is too good to be true," or "I don't deserve success." The brain receives opposite messages at the same time. On one side, an audio tries to induce relaxation, focus, or confidence. On the other, deeply ingrained thoughts sabotaging any change. In that battle, the brain usually follows the strongest pattern, which is almost always the old habit, not the new stimulus. Another issue that almost no one talks about is quality. Not every brainwave audio on the internet is well made. Many are just random noises, generic frequencies, or normal music with an attractive title. This creates the illusion that all brainwaves are the same. When someone tries several low-quality audios and feels nothing, they generalize and assume that none of it works. That's like taking a fake medicine and deciding that all medicine is useless. The tool is not the problem. The source is. There's also a dangerous misunderstanding. Brain waves do not replace action. They can help improve focus, reduce anxiety, increase clarity, and support positive mental states. But they do not make decisions for you. They don't apply for jobs, build businesses, or take responsibility for your life. When someone expects the audio to do everything alone, disappointment is inevitable. Brain waves work best as support, not as a replacement for effort. Another overlooked factor is the emotional state at the moment of listening. If someone is extremely agitated, angry, fearful, or highly anxious, the brain may resist the stimulus. It's like trying to fall asleep right after a heated argument. The body and mind need a transition. Often the mistake is not the audio itself, but the lack of mental preparation before listening. Simple things like slowing down, breathing deeply, and relaxing the body can make a significant difference. There is also the role of excessive skepticism. Questioning is healthy, but when someone starts listening already determined to prove that it doesn't work, the brain closes itself off. The attention shifts to looking for flaws instead of noticing subtle changes. Ironically, the same brain that blocks positive experiences through disbelief is perfectly capable of creating real negative effects through fear and expectation. This alone shows how powerful the mind truly is. In the end, brain waves do not work for people who are only looking for shortcuts without interchange. They do not replace self-awareness, discipline, conscious decisions, or personal responsibility. They work best for those who understand that they are a tool, not a miracle. When used with consistency, proper environment, realistic expectations, and mental alignment, their effects can be felt over time, often quietly but deeply. So when someone says that brain waves don't work, the most important question is not whether the audio is real or fake, but how it is being used, with what mindset, and for what purpose. Because in the end, the real power was never in the sound itself, but in the mind that listens to it. And if you're interested in experiencing high-quality brainwave audios, be careful with imitations. At the end of this video, you'll find the real, official links in the description. Always use the original sources, because when it comes to your mind, quality matters,